Hey guys, it's Tim Gillette, and we're back with another episode of the Tim Gillette Show. Yeah, I know I named the show after myself, but anyway, it's not about me. It's about the people I bring on and getting you to know them. I'm interviewing 100 of them in 30 days right now. It's because there's some people out there who are movers and shakers. I mean, these people are not going, oh, well, I didn't get a sale today, so I'm going to quit. No, these people are still doing the work, and that's the people I want to bring on this show. They're creating things, they're marketing things, they're doing things that are getting results right now. Today's guest, no different, all right? I'm going to get to know Adrian Boysel on the show today because literally he was referred to me as someone who said, Tim, this guy'd be great for your show. And everything I checked out about him was like, yep, he'd be great for the show. And we need to bring him on and talk to him about what he's doing. All right. So listen, he's a marketer like me, so I'm pretty sure he's got some good advice for you. All right. He's a guy who's on the internet and he's a guy who's busy like me. So we're going to get into this because the two of us got customers to go help when we're done. Adrian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Good. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. All right, and being on some stranger's show, man, it takes guts.
Hey, I love the momentum. I love the goal of the 100 that you're hitting there is amazing, and I want to do anything I can to support that. So
yeah, cool. So Adrian, where do you live? What part of the country are you working at?
I'm in Northern California, in the capital, Sacramento.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've got a few friends up there.
Yep.
All right. Luana Parker. Do you know her?
That sounds really familiar.
She does the speaking thing. All right, she's one of my clients.
That's probably why.
Yeah. I know Katrina Sawa up there.
I think
you know Katrina. She's a mover and shaker up there.
She's a go-getter too, for sure.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I know some people up there. I've spoken there. I've visited a few wineries there.
We got some great wineries, some of the best wine in the world, from what I've heard. I'm not a wine drinker, but I've heard that we have some of the best in the world here.
Yeah. So cool. So how long have you? I mean, did you grow up there? I mean, I think you're a kid, but did you grow up?
I know. Thank God I've let my beard grow out a little bit because of all this quarantine stuff. But I've actually been born and raised here in Sacramento. I left for a year and went to Chicago, the Illinois area, and was in Chicago and learned from Google a bunch of stuff. But yeah, other than that, I've been born and raised here my whole life. Grew up in just as a kind of a dirty country backwoods kid and playing in the dirt. And my grandpa was an entrepreneur. My dad's an entrepreneur, and it's just a third generation thing. He owned a video company, and then my dad took it over. And now I'm doing a lot of video, and that's really been one of my passions, just kind of carrying on that legacy.
Okay. And at any point in time, did you work for someone else, or have you been an entrepreneur since day one?
I did. So at 16, I was on my own, and I was had to learn how to sell, and I started reading books and just really understanding that I was out on my own and I had to figure out my way in the world. And so I got a sales job selling cell phones at the mall here in our local area. And I became the top sales guy. Wasn't even old enough to sign contracts yet, but the guy liked me so much, and he saw that I was driven and motivated, that he was like, hey man, just tell everybody that you're 18, even though you look like you're 14. And we'll just fly under the radar until you turn 18. And sure enough, the day I turned 18, I had such success in sales. I immediately went into the car industry. And stepped up my game in the sales side for the car industry. And it was one thing after another. And then I went into the home loan industry, and then that's when everything tanked. And I was like, okay, I was already doing graphic design as a hobby. And that's when my mentor that I've had now since 17 told me, dude, this is what you need to be doing for the rest of your life. You're amazing at graphics. You're amazing at art, and you can make a lot of money on printing. So I opened up a graphics and print shop. It was a retail walk in, sit down, get your stuff designed, and walk out with it. And that business exploded, and then I ended up selling that in 2011.
Wow. Wait, 2011. So, the economy was still climbing at that point, all right? You were going to sell a business during that time, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started it at the worst time in the downturn, in 2007, and built it up, during the recession to over almost 4,000 customers during that time. It was incredible adventure. I learned a lot, and I ended up kind of getting swindled by an investor, but there's a good lesson there that I learned of just being able to hold your ground when someone wants to buy your business, telling you, it'll still be your company, but it'll be my corporation. And I had to learn some hard lessons, but school of hard knocks. And I just kept moving forward. And I started my marketing agency, incorporated it actually in 2011. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So now I focus more on coaching and consulting and speaking, on stages and stuff.
But are you still doing some graphic work for your clients, or or you have a
I
team?
have a whole team. I have an agency now that I've had since 2011, and I have 3 designers on staff, a front end web programmer, back end guy that does coding, and we've got an amazing backlinking team that just does linking and content writers. I mean, I got the whole deal built out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I mean, it sounds like you've got an awesome spread up there. And I did go check out your website. At least I did that. So
right, more than I could say. I didn't have a chance to. It's been so crazy.
Yeah. And so when you had the setback with the corporation, all right, and that, all right, how old were you when that happened?
Almost 20. Let me think. You're 23 years old.
23 years old. All right. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? They think they got one over on you, but you probably know by the time you're 44 years old, they're gone. You're going to be like miles past them.
Oh, miles. That guy's no longer in business. The guy that took advantage of me, I found out that he had swindled a bunch of other shops in town and taken businesses that have been around since the 50s from this older lady. And that stuff travels through a town like Sacramento. It's very tight knit, very small, family, government town, government workers, and news travels fast. So it only took him 2 or 3 times of doing that for him to burn his name here in town. And from what I've heard, he's no longer even in town.
Wow. So, and just the 2 companies are the only 2 you've ever started, or have you started other and sold off as well?
So while I was doing the car business, I started a little nightlife entertainment promotions business, which is how I got into doing graphic design as a hobby. I was making my own flyers for these events that I was putting on. I was just making an extra $2-3 grand a month, just doing events and being young and partying and following down the wrong path until my mentor Larry was like, "Hey man, you got a gift for this stuff. You should get out of the nightlife stuff and go into business, because this is really what your calling is. I'm telling you, I've met a lot of people in my life, and this is what you should be focused on." And I listened, and I really had a lot of love and respect. And the office I'm in today, he and I opened up together here, so he's still with me after all these years.
Well, let's go into that area about mentors. All right. Yep. Because you're a young kid, but you realize the value of mentorship. All right. So you said his name's Larry. He was your mentor. Did you have any other mentors?
Oh yeah. A guy named Dighton Bradford, who's got his PhD and his master's degree in marketing. Another guy named Terry McAdam, who's the former vice president of Service Master Corporation and worked with a company that did contracts with NASA. I've had about 4 or 5. Another guy named Dan Klein that a lot of digital marketers have heard of. He's got a group called Job Killing. So I've had about a half a dozen mentors now over the last 13 years, and that has been the biggest area of growth for me, probably even more than reading.
Oh wow! And having mentors. Obviously you're smart. You've learned that value at a young age, how much mentors mean. But are you still? You're fairly young. Have people looking up to you going, "You're my mentor, Adrian"?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because just that giving nature that I have within myself. I try to compare myself in a way to Mr. Rogers because I just love people. I just genuinely love people with all my heart, and I want to help every person I can. And so that's kind of been it's a double-edged sword. It's been the good thing that's helped me grow and really get a lot of people's attention, but it also has worked against me too because I say yes to everything. I don't anymore, but for a long time I just said yes. Oh yeah, I want to help you. Oh yeah, I want to help you. So I spread myself very thin trying to help everybody. So now I'm a lot more calculated. I'm a lot more picky about what I should say yes to, and that has been even through mentors have helped kind of refine that and bring that down. But now about 2 years ago, I was with a mentor of mine, another mentor who's older than me. And we had a conversation, and he walked me through this process called 1-3-5-7, and it uncovered what my true life's purpose. Like they say, the best days of your life are the day you're born, or the most important days are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Well, that about 2 years ago was my why, and I realized that my at-risk youth, being 16 years old, being on the streets, hanging out with train riders, doing all those things, was the beginning of my journey of being able to help at-risk youth. And the key to helping them is actually restoring broken families. I come from a broken family. My dad came from a broken family. There's so many people in our country and in our world that come from broken families. That is really my purpose here on earth and my why every day. So all the digital marketing stuff, all the business stuff is great, but that's just an influence and an authority builder. The real purpose for me and the real calling of my life and what I want to leave this earth with is being able to impact 1 million youth across our world, and not just in our country, but across our world, and mentor them. So I have a thing that I'm working on right now called Meek Mentors, and I'm actually going live in my group today for Meek Mentors. I picked 12 people that I want to start with, and I'm taking it very seriously.
It's interesting you bring that up, Adrian. You know what I mean? I am 100% mission driven. I mean, this show, mission driven, is why I do what I do. My event, mission driven.
Yeah.
And seeing a young man like yourself, mission driven, that is like, you know what I mean? Like goosebumps. You know what I mean?
I love that.
It is. And wow, 1 million. You want to help 1 million. All right. So let me ask this. You have a mission. So everything you do, all right, it focuses your decision. Coming on the show today was probably like, that can help my mission.
More exposure.
Yeah. So I mean, tell the audience, because you're in marketing as well, how that thought process works of, you know what I mean? I have a mission. That mission makes the decisions for me.
Yeah. I mean, we're living in an age more than ever with social media and all the different platforms, the TikToks, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Snapchats. Everybody's looking in 15 different directions every 30 seconds. And so I'm trying to wrangle our youth anywhere between 12 and 20, because I still consider, even if you're 18, 19, you're still youth. And to be honest, probably until about 24 where you get your head on straight. But 12 to 20 is about the target range. And those are the people that I'm trying to get their attention on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, not as much Facebook, obviously, but Instagram. And I'm trying to get their attention and bring them my way so that I can walk them through the steps that I took, because not all of them are college educated or even finished high school, which I myself didn't even get the chance, just to life circumstances and some family situations that happened as I had to just immediately go to work. I had no control over it. And I was walking to school every day for about a month by myself. But once I got out of the area, I no longer had the opportunity to walk to school, because it would have been like a 5-hour walk. So I just had to go to work, and I started working, and I put my head down, and I've just been doing that ever since. So I want to provide education for people who haven't finished high school, who haven't gone to college, who need some skills. And so that's part of what my Meek Mentors is going to be, is my mission is to train them, equip them, teach them, disciple them, and give them the tools and resources for their life and through entrepreneurship to really make an impact and change the trajectory of where they're going, rather than ending up in jail or crime or gangs or any of that stuff. I want to give them a skill set that they can use and take and go out and make great money from. Because since I've been 18 years old, I've never made less than $100,000 a year.
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
And it's just crazy work ethic. I think that's the biggest thing, is I'm not the most talented guy, like Will Smith says, but I have a crazy amount of work ethic. I've just been on my own, and I started working at such a young age, 12 years old, doing concrete work and pressure washing and hard manual labor, that I have a work ethic ingrained in me. And that's what's gotten me through all the really, really tough times, is just keep working your freaking tail off, just like right now with what we're going through.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
I was thinking about that when you were talking about, you know what I mean? All the things that you're trying to do with being entrepreneurialism towards them.
Yeah.
I have a friend here in Dallas who she believed exactly when 19 years ago, when she started her corporation, she then immediately filed for her foundation. Did you do that as well? I mean, immediately, or did you just go with the foundation idea a couple years in?
Yeah. So the foundation is actually something I'm in the process of starting right now, because I've got a good attorney on my side who's helping me through all that. Another mentor who's an older gentleman, but been around the Silicon Valley and Bay Area, and just really familiar with funding and grants and all that. So he's helping me with that right now. But a couple of years ago, I have a friend of mine, Ali Faizan, who was a client of mine, who now works with the NFL and sits on the board for Nevada. And I mean, he's just a very, very educated guy, speaks like 9 languages. And he gave me a bunch of resources to look up in California for health and human services. And so we can actually fund ourselves through that program. So I've been researching, working on that, putting together my guidelines and all of that kind of paperwork, the kind of the not fun stuff. I've been putting that stuff together for like the last year, in between trying to write my book, get on stages, continue to build the agency, and just get as much exposure as I possibly can, and bring awareness. And I mean, just trying to juggle all the hats has been quite the feat, but it's moving up on my priority list. Let's just put it that way.
and again, it's part of the learning curve. All right. You said, you know what I mean? I learned the hard way on with losing a corporation, but you're learning along the way.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's
talk about. I have an 18-month-old too to top it off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I started to talk over you. I'll repeat that.
And I have an 18-month-old to top it off. So
my gosh,
making time to watch her grow up, and the last 18 months has been unreal. It's just, it's a lot. So I try to do the best I can and have as much balance as possible, and not forget to take care of myself in the process,
Yeah. So yeah, my wife and I, our youngest is 27. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm 32. So. Yeah.
Well, you brought up this thing with education. All right. And you said, you know what I mean? You struggled, all right, where you had to go to work, but then education. Do
Yep.
you consider education, maybe not formal school, but like informal reading, watching courses, things like that? Do you consider education still a fundamental part of your week?
Oh, 100%. That's probably 20% of my week, at least. Maybe even on some weeks, like this last few weeks, it's probably been more like 30 or 40%. I've been
Wow.
spending more time just reading articles, consuming content, watching YouTubers. I mean, taking more courses. I signed up for masterclass about a month and a half ago. I've been going through all the masterclass, different people like Chris Voss, and I mean, just some incredible content. I'm consuming more right now than I probably ever have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's just phenomenal that, all right, you know what I mean? Most people at your age is, well, I want to be set and not have to do that. And I'm finding guys like you who are like, no, I've still got to study. I still got to learn more.
Well, that's part of one of my keynotes. I got to practice what I preach. Is I talk about always be a student. You got to always be willing to be open-minded and always be a student. And I'm always picking up new books. I got friends who are authors who are sending me their books, and I'm reading their books and going through audible books and watching I mean, I'm almost at that point where I'm consuming so much that I'm like overwhelmed because I'm having to I have to free up and I have to get more information out. But it's helping me with my YouTube channel and creating a ton of really great content on there. Like the one I'm doing today of the IDA model, awareness, interest, desire, action. So just stuff like that. I'm just trying to get some of the stuff out of my head and get it into the world and start sharing it with some of the people that are following me on YouTube.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind, dude.
Thanks, bro.
So let's talk into some of your clients that you're helping and working with right now. All right.
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of people are. I mean, I've had a few clients go, well, I'm just going to I can't do this right now, and I'm going to take a break. What are you encouraging your clients to do in the current situation we're dealing with in the world?
I think it's really easy with the amount of uncertainty that we have. Even myself, I've faced it of just having kind of a cloudiness in front of you, a fog of where am I going next? What am I doing? But this is where, just like in the last recession that we had, this is where I got just hyper focused. I knew that what I could do best was my creative gift. I knew that there was nobody that was going to outwork me, and there was nobody that was going to be more creative than me. When I'm sitting across from somebody and I'm genuinely giving all of my heart and soul to that person to listen to what they're passionate about, what their heart is, what's their why, what's driving them. And I take that information that I get from them and I translate it into their graphics, into their marketing, into their messaging. Nobody can touch that. And so that's why I've been able to explode so much. So getting really focused right now is incredibly important. And it's easy to want to retreat. I've had those days myself. I've had a lot of great days, but I've also had some challenging days where I'm like, I just want to stay in bed and sleep today. Like, what's the point? I'm going to go work twice as hard and I'm going to get half the results. I should just enjoy my time. I have some cushion that can get me through the next few months, but man, that's just not the right mentality. That's just not a growth mindset. That's a scarcity mindset. So I pick myself up, even though I get out of bed late, sometimes 9:30, which is normally about 2 hours later than I normally do. I've had a couple of those days. I'm having to push myself and be like, you know what, it's time to go out there. So I just work later, but I'm just continuing to move forward. And that's what I would tell you is just keep moving forward, keep learning, keep practicing, and don't be retreating right now. Right now is the time to go all in on your brand and to focus on creating the absolute most clarity you can on your brand. Who are you? What's important? Who are your target clients? What pond are you fishing in? What bait are you using to get them? And just go through your whole entire brand from top to bottom and look at the areas of weakness and areas that you can strengthen. Maybe it's your website blogging, or maybe it's your content creation, or maybe it's your videos, whatever that is. Go all in on that and just put 100% of your, or at least 90% of your focus on that, because a lot of people are scaling back their advertising, as you know, and as a marketing and advertising guy, they're cutting back on that stuff. But right now is a great time to double down on your branding. And that's really what we've been focusing on. We're doing explainer videos and branding projects and rebranding and graphics and all kinds of real creative graphic stuff right now, rather than pushing lead generation and advertising and marketing.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because, the marketing, I actually was on an interview myself, another gentleman last week.
Yeah.
And he was asking about, I teach content creation is what I teach. And he said, what are you telling people to do? I said, well, yeah, you need to be creating content and you need to still be making offers at the end. And he's like, but people are saying not to because nobody has money. I'm like, Tide's still advertising on TV. All right.
Yep.
Charmin still running ads.
100%.
Why
That's
aren't
true.
you?
This is like, I saw a saying yesterday that was perfect. It was like, when the tide comes out, you see who's standing there naked, or something like that. And I thought it was just a visual. I kind of translate the words into images in my head, and I pictured it. And I'm like, all the people that are not the real deal, that weren't really, they were faking it, trying to make it, are now standing there naked out in the ocean because the tide's gone out. And this is going to be the time where you're going to double down and make it happen, or you're going to retreat and run and go hide under cover and protect yourself.
Yeah. You know, I had a boss in the early 2000s that said that. He says, you know what I mean? When hard times come, it shows you who belongs in business and who doesn't.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that's
100%.
it. I mean, if you've got this work ethic since 16, obviously you're going to be one of the leaders, you know?
Yeah, right. It is big. I think that is my number one reason for success. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. Well, wow. I'm just totally impressed with all this stuff. So let me get into the personal side. You mind if I go personal on you a little bit?
Of course, absolutely.
So family, I mean, you said you had a young kid, 18 months. Tell us about family.
So I got a beautiful wife. She's a small business owner as well. I've helped her start her business and created her brand called Crunchy Cottage. She makes organic elderberry syrup and some wellness products, and has just had explosive growth over the last 90 days. She started it about 6 months ago, and having 20,000 plus months selling elderberry syrup, you wouldn't believe it. And then my daughter's 18 months old. Her name's Sunny, just a little redhead like me, and just full of life, super huge personality, hilarious little character. And so just super grateful for that. And then my wife has a son, Josiah, who's about to be 10. Our birthdays are 6 days apart in June. I'll be 33. He'll be 10. And then I have a son as well from my first marriage named Joseph, who's not mine biologically, but he's been mine since he was literally a month old. Who's now with his mom. I fought a huge custody battle in 2018, and she signed over her rights and then denied it. And I got him back, and then she kidnapped him from school. And then I put out an Amber Alert and got him back. And it was a huge debacle in between everything else that I was trying to build, my career, my business, my family. I had that huge ordeal that happened and racked up a big $30,000 attorney bill. And it hasn't been easy, but you just got to you take the hits and you just keep moving forward.
Yeah. So, so then you've got a wife now who's, I guess, very supportive of you being in business.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah. I couldn't have my businesses now if I didn't have the wife I have. And I mean, I'm on wife number 3. So,
there you go. Lucky number 3.
Yeah. Lucky number 3. I mean, because I couldn't be in business without her. All right. And that partnership, it sounds like you guys have got the same thing in that partnership.
At first it was hard because she wasn't an entrepreneur. She was very much a health-minded. She worked for chiropractors and the natural health and wellness kind of space, and she's really passionate about that. And so I was really trying to find a way that we could take that passion and turn that into her own revenue, because she was being paid like $15, $16, $17 an hour. I probably shouldn't be revealing that, but she wasn't being paid very much in that space. And these guys make great money. And I'm like, man, for what you're providing, you're setting up these dinner dates with all these people and bringing them out and making thousands and thousands of dollars on one dinner for the chiropractors. Like you just could take these sales skills, these personal skills that you have, and make so much money on your own. So I was kind of pushing her, and then she jumped into life insurance and health insurance, and that wasn't really her thing. And then she found the elderberry syrup and the holistic kind of health and wellness stuff, and that has made, a dramatic impact. So now she's got the entrepreneurial bug. She's like, can we work on my email marketing campaign? And can we do another photo shoot? Can you make me new labels? And I find myself, at one point it was like 5 to 10 hours a week working on her stuff. And she's like basically become almost like one of my clients from a perspective, even though I'm invested in it too. So it's been fun. She's grown as an entrepreneur into becoming an entrepreneur, but I think she had it all along.
Yeah. And now, both her child and your child from previous marriages, do you see them coming up as entrepreneurs? They're a little older now than your baby.
Oh yeah. So my son Joseph, I haven't been with him now in almost a year. He's very quiet and kind of introverted, but very, very smart kid as well. But her son Josiah, that guy's either going to be like the next Billy Graham. I'm not exaggerating. The kid is beyond insightful, beyond his years, incredibly intelligent, and super entrepreneurial. He is the evangelist. He's been trying to close me before he even knew what closing was. I've explained to him some of this business stuff of sales and how it works, but this kid has a natural gift that I haven't really seen even some adults have.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. So he's an evangelist. He's very insightful. He can read people, and just very, very talented little guy. So he'll definitely be some sort of either well-known pastor or well-known entrepreneur, world changer. He's got a high calling and high purpose in this life for sure.
Wow. That's impressive to hear when I hear that, you know what I mean? The children are
Yep.
taking over it and doing it. And
his grandfather's actually a pastor, which is cool. And he's a really Al Soto is his name, from the Bay Area. And he teaches at he's a pastor for Bayside Church, which is a really well-known church that planted like 18 churches in the last decade. Mm-hmm. So he's got a gift inside of him. The kid's got a fire.
Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, can I ask you that? You mean you're a man of faith, or?
Oh yeah, that's everything. Everything I do is, I mean, the mission, my life purpose. Waking up every day, my goal is to not only make my family proud and take care of them, but bring glory to my God, bring glory to Jesus, and that's what I do all this for. Is He is the basis and the foundation of everything that I'm doing, and the reason why I'm doing it, the reason why I have air in my lungs, and I have a faith-based podcast. I have a podcast like you, but mine's faith-based. So what I was kind of tasked with a few years ago in 2017 was taking the business world and taking the secular world, the secular world and the faith world, and intertwining the two together and bringing faith into business, because we always try to separate, our faith and business. And I was challenged with bringing the two together. So I use that as the foundation for all of my topics. If I'm talking about digital marketing, how does faith apply to that? And so there's been some challenging times for me to come up with content that revolves around faith, that has faith principles. And I find the stuff in the Bible all the time. I found myself reading more, and I think it was a challenge for me as well as a challenge for the people that were listening and watching to my show. But we're going to start the third season. It's called Project Grow, projectgrowshow.com or projectgrowradio.com. We're going to start the third season here soon. And I talk about marketing, technology, leadership, a few different topics. And it's something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I just want to bring more awareness that we should be using that moral compass. And you don't have to be necessarily Christian to be on the show, but I want you to have some sort of faith background, some sort of foundation, because I feel like it's essential to living a fulfilled, balanced, successful life.
Now I'm a Christian, and I have a Christian faith. My wife does too. I mean, we're not hardcore, but we're Christian people. But I've noticed, and it may not always be Christian. Sometimes it's someone with Jewish faith. I mean, you ever notice that those people are the most intense workers and dedicated people? You ever notice that?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And I want to come together with other Christians too. That was part of the mission, was coming together as a community and supporting each other, because there's a lot of other faiths like Jehovah's Witness and Mormons that do a really good job backing each other and supporting each other and helping each other in business and in life. And I feel like Christians are probably one of the worst at that. And so I feel like I want to challenge my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ of like, man, we're Christians. We're supposed to love thy neighbor. We're supposed to really be there for each other and come together as a community. But we're so focused on our own individual missions that we're getting distracted on what our true purpose is.
No. Well, did you get the joke that, that don't open the email that says knock knock?
Knock knock, no.
Witness working from home.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh, that is great. I love that.
It was a Jehovah's Witness friend of mine that sent me that.
That is hilarious. Knock knock. That is so good. Have you heard the good news about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? That is freaking awesome.
You got to have a sense of humor about what you do and who you are. I do. I have a huge sense of humor about me. I'm telling people now. I mean, I've had long hair for years, but I'm like, I went into this quarantine as a bald guy, and look what happened.
I went in as a baby face with no beard, and now look, geez.
Yeah.
My wife's like, I like it, keep it. I'm like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah.
Oh, it itches.
No, I mean mine. Mine. It's like I started this out as I was working for Starbucks years ago, and like didn't have to be clean looking.
Yeah,
5 years of my life, so I grew my hair long. And my mentor and friend was Zig Ziglar, and I said, "Well, I'm going to get a haircut." And Zig went, "No."
Wow.
Yeah, that was
your mentor was Zig.
Yeah, I used to wash Zig's car. I mean, if you go research my story, I've got a story that that's how I got into this industry.
Well, now I'm excited to research and learn more about you. That's awesome.
So I mean, and that's it. I mean, I want to be on your show so that you can find out about me, because I'm on you're on my show. I'm trying to find out about you.
100%.
That is the hugest thing that I've found. All right, and tell me this, because you're a content creator. the biggest thing is introducing others to your audience. All right. I mean, do you find that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's absolutely essential. I think that has made a big difference, especially with any kind of speaking engagements, podcasts, on stage. When I get to introduce myself or introduce others, that have like-minded, it's crazy the impact. I mean, I'm constantly referring people that I do podcasts with and stuff to other people. They're like, hey, do you know somebody that does press releases? I'm like, oh yeah, my buddy Jesse. I think when I get to those opportunities to grow closer with those types of people that are out there making moves and making things happen, the action takers, those are the people that I want to support and help as much as I humanly can.
Yep. So I gotta agree with you on that. So,
yep.
Well, big deal. Adrian, I want the people in my audience to be able to find you online. What is the website or place that they can go find you right now?
So there's a number of ways, depending on what they need and how they want to get involved with me. I have a personal website, adrianboysel.com, just like my name says right there in the little ticker. They can go to adrianboysel.com and contact me there. I talk about mentorship. I talk about my personal kind of story. I talk about my marketing, consulting, some of my speaking on there. And then I have my agency, which is adriangraphics.com, Adrian Graphics and Marketing, as you'll see here on the logo. Oops, other side, logo behind me.
That's a cool logo for those on the video.
Yeah, right. So that it's a great logo, but that's where we do a lot of our creative work, the 3D explainer videos, animations, branding. Branding is one of our big things. We coined ourselves as we create $1 million brands. Because if you believe you have $1 million brand and your brand is wrapped around your heart, your passion, your mission, all of that, then there's no reason why you can't create a brand that just communicates that to the whole world. So we do that for companies as well. So we're really focused on that with Adrian Graphics. And then I have another program and another project and another company with a partner of mine who's also a client, and it's called Lead Butler. And Lead Butler is a LinkedIn automation tool. Lead Butler has a call tracking system incorporated into it. And then we also have kind of our actual standalone program where we build done-for-you lead gen sites. So if you're a roofing contractor, and you say, hey, I want to add some revenue to my business, then they go to leadbutler.io. They can sign up there, and they can order 1 or they can order 100 lead gen sites that have 2 to 5 backlinks on them that are really high powered. We write all the content for. I mean, we do everything from start to finish. Next thing you know, a month later, you got a lead gen website up that's ranking at the top of Google, that's driving in leads that you can go take the leads on yourself, or you can sell them for $1,000, $1,500 a month, and you can create passive income that way. So that's another program that I have going on as well, one of my other ventures. So that's just a few of the ways to contact me. But Adrian Graphics is probably my biggest priority, on top of my mentorship program that I'm doing, which I can be contacted through my adrianboysel.com.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it has been cool getting to know you, and it sounds like, we need to talk more because, oh my gosh, I mean, we've got so much that we can help each other's clients with, I think, but
easily
that's for another conversation on another day.
Part 2.
Yeah. Part 2. So, but anyway, Adrian, it's been fun having you here. I like to close out my show with a little game I call This or That. Have you heard about my game?
I heard about it.
I've made a specific list up for Adrian to see if he knows some things. So you ready to go here?
100%.
All right. So my first one I ask quite a lot is Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. All right. You the first trilogy or the?
Probably, yeah. I'm even
though that was before your time, but that's, the first trilogy is still the best.
Oh, yeah. Nothing beats that.
So next one here, because you're doing some stuff on computer, are you a Mac guy or a PC guy?
Started as a PC guy, and for the last 5 years, I've been a Mac guy.
Yep. I've been a Mac guy for 8 years.
Wow. Yeah, so pretty close to 20. Yeah, I'm actually coming up to 8 years, 2012, 2013.
2012, 2013, I went full Mac, everything. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
I am not a morning person. Definitely a nighttime person. I can stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, just getting into my creative zone and just going after it, man. That's my thing. I've always been a nighttime night owl.
Yeah. I recently I've been doing an awful lot, and like 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm finally going, okay, I got to go get some sleep.
Time to shut it off. Yeah. I'm a workaholic. So my wife's like, geez, man, you worked until 3 in the morning last night and you're back up again at 7 doing it all over again. Like, what about us? And I'm like, it's during the week. I'll do that on the weekend.
Well, we're looking forward. We're already planning it that once this is over, we're coming to Napa.
There we go.
We got it. We're going to visit places.
Yes.
So this next one here, I mean, you said you worked in cars, so I mean, you're probably not old enough to get this rivalry, but Chevy or Ford?
Man, that's such a hard one because I'm a Corvette guy. I sold Corvettes. I love Corvettes. That's my dream car. I'm going to get that dang C8 one of these days.
Yeah.
But I would have to say I'm a Ford guy just because I own more Fords. I like the Fords. I think they look better overall. But when it comes to a sports car, I got to go with the Vet. So that's the only exception. But mostly a Ford guy.
In the early 90s, I worked for the Penske's family at one of their Chevy dealers.
Oh, nice.
That was so cool. I mean, I'm not into Corvettes because I don't like the low. I'm a truck guy. I got to be up there. So, and GM, and I was a Chevy guy my whole life, but GM just doesn't make a truck as good as Ford does anymore.
That's true.
So, but I drive a Dodge truck.
There you go. Those are nice, man. The new Dodges are incredible.
They're just awesome. So
my buddy has that fully loaded Laramie, and he just bought 2 of them for him and his partner. And I was like, oh my, it's unreal how amazing that truck is.
How about beach or mountains?
Mountains. I'm a country. Yep. I'm not much for water. Never been. People are tripped out by that. They're like, what? I don't really like swimming. I'm not much for hot tubs, and I'm not crazy about getting wet. I'd rather be up in the woods getting dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about coffee or tea?
Tea. I'm a hardcore. Yeah. Every day I gotta have my yerba mate tea. Every day.
I have to have my espresso first thing in the morning.
There you go.
How about taco or hamburger?
Man, that's an interesting one. That's changed for me over the years. I would definitely have to say tacos now.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So would you rather read a book or listen to a podcast?
It depends on the topic. I think if it was business related, I would listen to a podcast.
Interesting. So,
yep.
Well, my last 2 are kind of the controversial ones. This one here can start wars, apparently. If you have it right now, because I understand a lot of people don't have it. And that is toilet paper, under or over.
Always over, man.
That has been my most interesting question.
That's game. Like people who go tomato or tomato. I'm like, who the heck says tomato? Like, come on. Of course it's over.
And my last one, boxers or briefs.
Man, as a kid, it was definitely boxers, but now I'm a briefs guy.
Yep. So, see, it's not that hard of a game. You know what I mean?
No, that was fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, Adrian, one more time for the people listening on audio, would you tell them your website real quick?
Yeah.
And I'll see if we have any more comments over here. So,
yeah, check out. We actually just revamped our website. Go to Adrian, ADRIAN graphics, GRAPHICS.com. That's AdrianGraphics.com. If you need a mentor, you need some help, you need some coaching, some assistance, this is free. I don't charge anything for this, and it is selective, but it is free. You can go to my personal website, AdrianBoysel.com. AdrianBoysel.com. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out. Let me know who you are. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and I'll look forward to connecting with you.
Yeah. So, and I'm just going to put up our comments from our guests who stopped in. So that's my cousin Rich said, hey, loves it. Keep going, Tim. All right. So Chris McKenzie, nice show. So that's our comment for today. We have to, I'd like to give them got to give them a shout out because they actually listened through us today. But
well, Chris is actually the man behind AdrianGraphics.com these days. He's been running the agency and him and Amanda Lawson. So
let's highlight him a little bit more then.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris, for putting that up for us, man. And Adrian, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. All right. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. All right. And we will talk to you again soon.
God bless. Keep looking up.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's it for another Tim Gillette show. I will see you guys next time. Tim Gillette show, over and out. Bye now.